Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt. And today I want to talk about the birth of the intruding arch wire. That's that's something else, calling it the birth of this wire. But we had put this on a young man. He, for some reason or other, decided he wanted to straighten his teeth. And I think it was to get out of the draft or something. But he came by and he wanted me to put braces on his teeth or something so he wouldn't, I don't know why he wanted them. Well, he had this tremendous closed bite. Anybody with that, they cannot chew. Let me get on down here and I'll kind of show you why he wanted this. Now he came by and I didn't get any good pictures and everything that day, but here are the two little wires we put in, and we put some on the lower, bringing them down, some on the anterior, going up with those. Now his bite was terribly closed. I mean, you can see his, let's see, let me get me back here. Let me get the little dot up there again. Where did we? I wanted to write with the. What did we do here? I didn't get the. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sorry for that delay. I want to draw this on here so you remember it. Now, this guy had a tremendous closed bite. You could already see his anterior teeth, and he came in and wanted this on. So we took models and records and stuff like that, and we put it on, and here it was 6 months later. I put these brackets or these bands on his upper anterior teeth and down on the lower anterior teeth, and these teeth right here were down this far, and these went up into here on the upper. Now, I hooked those two little wires to the 6-year molars back here. One of them on this upper, we made it where the upper archway was kind of like that. We brought that down and hooked it on the teeth. On the one on the lower, it went down like this, and we raised it, hook it on the lower teeth. Now he could have closed against those to some extent. That may have given it a start, but he had took off and we couldn't find him. And he didn't come in for 6 months. And so I had the ladies try to write to his parents or whoever we could get in contact, and we didn't find anything on him at all. He was kind of a hippie type young guy, and so he must have been off staying with some commune somewhere. I don't want to condemn him like that, but anyway, he came in 6 months later, and the young lady that seated him came into me and said, "Dr. Wyatt, you need to come in here and look at this guy." And so I did. I came in there and looked in his mouth, and by George, the teeth were completely, they had moved from here, and they were completely, he came in because he couldn't bite through the sandwiches or the hamburgers or whatever it was getting eat. So he came back in to see what was the matter like that. Now the force to raise something, you're intruding it into the bone, and here we're intruding these teeth down into the bone, and the wire, a little flimsy wire was hooked up here, gently pushing on these teeth. And I had no idea that you could get that much work out of a small wire like that. But you could. We had that hooked up, and we were working off this tooth back here. and this wire went up here. We brought it, well, maybe we had it further up. We brought it down, hooked it to this. This down here, this wire was down here. We brought it here to bring it down, and these to bring them up, and left him, and he took off for 6 months with just that gentle pressure of those 2 little arch wires. And I thought to myself, this is a tough, hard chewing young man. The force to intrude these teeth had to come by pushing these down and pushing this one up. And it's, I don't care who you are, where you come from, anything, if you line up, you've got the same force on one side as you have on the other side, like this. Now, why did these teeth not come all the way down into his mouth? There's as much force pushing them down as it was bringing this up. In fact, it's 4 times harder to intrude than it is to extrude. Well, the reason it didn't do that, this guy chewed on these teeth, and he really chewed hard. Now it kind of angled them back a little bit, making the mesial cusp of these teeth hit, but he kept those teeth down while they brought these up out here. Now that's the only thing that could happen to him like that. So I learned something there, that you could open anybody's bite. I don't care how old they are and what age they are or not. I have opened bites on people in their 70s, 80s, and I think I've separated I've expanded their palates in their 80s. And then I've gotten people into the 90s, but I didn't start anybody there. And why, over the years, we have been taught that adults' bone structure was set and you could not straighten their teeth. And that's just as wrong as it can be. And it can be done, and it can be done 100 years from now. That's not a mistake. The bone can move and you can adjust it on anybody regardless of how old they are. Now, I've been around a long time myself. And if I wanted to straighten my teeth or change them like they are, and we go through the trouble of it, at 96 I could have my teeth moved. So let's look at this a little bit closer and study it. I look back on this teeth. I took a look. Now the tooth, this wire's over here, you're pulling down here, that prizes that tooth. Now it's picking up this way, and that's pushing the tooth this way. It's opposite and equal amounts of force. Now you got 2 sides, so don't think you got to think in a 3rd dimension here to think about this. Well, it pushed this down, but he chewed tremendously on that. And he kept those teeth in place while this took place out here in the front. That's why these kids now, they tie some on the 2nd molar back here and come out here and they wear class 2 elastics, and that tooth will take care of that. They can pull that out. And we've known that for years, but I wasn't smart enough to make some big problem with it, to sell those things and make a few $1 million out of it. But we've known that the 6-year molars were sitting back here where you could chew on them, and you could chew on them, and if you wanted to close the bite some, you could put a block on them, and they'll chew more. And they will withstand more. So if you were trying to open the bite on a high angle case, that's a lot of distance between the nose and the chin down here, and they look this way, and you try to if they have a closed dental bite and they have a high angle case, you get in there, you don't know what they're doing, you will open that up and it'll increase these teeth coming together, and that will make the bite even bigger. But we've learned that we could close a bite, or we could open a bite on some high angle case and bring these teeth together. Bring them apart so they're open there, and not increase the height and actually reduce it by wearing something in there that you press underneath here. That's another story to add to this. Now, we took those teeth up, so we got him in and we took that off and brought them down to where they just had a overjet and overbite like that. And now he can bring his jaw out here and he can bite a hamburger in two, and he can pull it back here and chew it with his back teeth. But when he bites it, it doesn't get, these teeth don't touch back here. That's how we're marvelously made. We have overjet and overbite. It allows us to bring our teeth forward like this and bite them together. And so this guy had just closed down for some way or another and had his bite completely closed. And that we learned something, that I could take those two little wires and make an intruding arch out of that. So from then on, we have open bites. We'd have the lower teeth biting in the roof up here. It didn't matter how old they were or who they were. We could bring those teeth down. We could pick these up. We could open up the bites that way. And I've got oodles of cases where we have opened their bite in that fashion. So I thank you for watching. Let's see. Here are the two little wires. I wish I had saved them a little more and gotten a better picture. This is the focus is out of focus there. So there's the way his bite was together. And this was done in 1971. And we brought him back from that. So thank you for watching. And tune in to our deal. And then we have over 900 videos on everything I can think of in orthodontics that I have done for 60-something years. And I've thought about this. I grew up I used to go sit in an orthodontic office and ride home with my mother from school, and I watched this guy work. And I said to myself, I can do that. And so I went into orthodontics, and I am so glad I did. And so watch our cases. And now I want you to join our group, and we're going to continue to show this as long as I got breath in me. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to close up now and see you later.